Hey guys, welcome back to Science Skills and Life Skills with Vikhyath, and welcome to the first video of the Web Development 101 course. It is a complete course for beginners, and what's more, no coding experience is required. This course is made for anyone who has an interest to make their very own websites, like you. Even if you do know some basic coding, this is this course is going to help you to create your very own functional website, gain a deep understanding into JavaScript, HTML, cascading style sheets or CSS, Bootstrap, frameworks and libraries. You're also going to be able to appreciate the benefits of developing websites. So, here's a brief introduction about me. I'm Vikhyath, I study in ninth grade. I have been coding for 3 years, and as a fun fact, the first thing I learned in computer science was creating a website. I have 7 IBM badges in web development, open source technology, cybersecurity, and many other emerging technologies and skills. If you're interested to check out my badges, you can check out this link here, which I will link to in the description. I have also won the National Coding Challenge 2022 hosted by CBSE and Microsoft. So let's get to the basics. What can you do with a website? You can increase the reach of your business by uploading it to a website. Your website is global. That is the reason behind the success of e-commerce platforms like Amazon. It takes a business to the next level. Customers can reach you 24/7 from anywhere around the globe. Customers are more impressed and give higher credibility to businesses that are online rather than offline businesses. For example, you would always give more credibility to an Amazon vendor rather than a roadside vendor. You can also earn additional revenue through advertisements on your website. You can spread your own knowledge and expertise on various subjects through websites which are accessible to all, through websites like Stack Overflow, etc. You can create your own blogging site where you can post blogs on any topic you wish. Who knows? Your site may become a global hit. So, let us start with the very basics. What is a website? It's a collection of web pages. These web pages contain hypertext links, buttons, text, images, and other components that you see on a web page. All these components are part of a GUI. So, what is a GUI? A GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. It is how you interact with modern computer systems. In older operating systems like the MS-DOS, you had to type in line by line commands to create new folders, create new files, etc. But in modern day computers like from Windows 2000 onwards, Mac and Linux, you use buttons, text and images to interact with the computer. So what are hypertext links? Every Wikipedia page is full of hypertext links. So as you can see in this particular Wikipedia page, there is some text written in black and some text written in blue. The text written in blue allows you to navigate to a different web page. This text is called hypertext. By default, when you click on a hypertext link, it turns purple. It is one of the many ways you can navigate through web pages. So now it's time to create your own website. So the first step is to have an IDE software. Now what is an IDE? An IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It's special software that allows you to code. Most commonly used IDE software is VS Code, which stands for Visual Studio Code by Microsoft. So let us see how you download Visual Studio Code. So let us install Visual Studio Code. So for that we go to Google and we search VS Code. And here as the first result we get the download option. So let's click on that, and based on whichever operating system you use, whether it's Mac or Linux or Windows, you can click on the download option. Since I use Windows 11, I'm going to click on the download option here, and the download has started. So as you can see, it has been downloaded. And one more important thing that you must remember is that VS Code and Visual Studio are two different softwares. So when you download VS Code, make sure you're downloading Visual Studio Code and not Visual Studio. Alright, so now my setup wizard has been downloaded. I can click on that, accept the agreements and install. Alright, so now Visual Studio Code has been installed. I'm going to launch it. So this is your Visual Studio Code. On the right you have the code space and on the left you have the file explorer. So the first thing you must do when your Visual Studio Code is launched is you must download the live server. So you go to your extensions, you search for live server, and then you can click on this option here. And since I have live server installed in my Visual Studio Code, it doesn't show me in the install option, but for you it's going to be showing the install option, and you click on that and wait for it to download. If you have your live server installed, click on open folder, where we're going to create a new folder. So let us create a new folder as my first website, and this folder is going to have your HTML files, your CSS files and JavaScript files. Now I'm going to be telling you what are these HTML, CSS and JavaScript files in just a moment. So here is your empty folder, and now let's create a new file. So we're going to click on this new file option here, and we're going to name it index.html. Now this is your HTML file. Now why have I called it index.html? If you're creating a website with many web pages, index.html is going to be considered as the home page by the browser. If your website has more than one web page, you can name the other web pages with whichever name you want, but the home page has to be index.html. Then you're going to create a new file called main.js. This is a JavaScript file. And then you're also going to be creating a file called style.css. This is a cascading style sheets or CSS file. Now let me explain the functionality of HTML, JavaScript and CSS files. So imagine a car. Every car has a frame or structure. That is an HTML file for a web page. It provides the basic structure of a web page. The JavaScript file of a website is like the engine of a car. It provides all the functionality of the web page. For example, what should a web page do when a button is clicked, etc. Style.css is like the paint on your car. It beautifies your web page rather than a black and white screen. So the first thing you do on an HTML file is doctype HTML. So this code line basically declares that this file is an HTML file. Now after you've declared doctype HTML, you're going to create a few HTML tags. What are HTML tags? Tags are how we represent elements. For example, if we want to add a button, we're going to create button tags. The starting button tag is going to have a lesser than symbol, button and a greater than symbol. And the ending tag is going to have a lesser than symbol, a slash, button and then a greater than symbol. So whatever we write in between is going to be the content inside the tag. So in the case of the HTML tags, whatever comes inside these HTML tags is our HTML page. So that's how we add elements in the form of tags. Every HTML page is divided into two components, the head and the body. So I'm going to create the head tag and the body tag. So as you can see, there's a beginning head and an ending head, a beginning body and an ending body tag. So in the head tag, we're going to give a title tag and we're going to write my first website. So what is the title tag? For example, in the Google website, you can see that on the tab it's written Google. This way we know what the website is about and what its name is. That's exactly what this title tag does. It's going to give some text on the tab, which is going to let the user know what this website's name is. So to see how our website looks like now, we're going to click on this Go Live button here, which is going to run the live server that we installed a while ago. So as you can see, this is our web page that we have done till now, and the title tag is here, my first website. Now live server is going to run your website on a local computer. It's not going to be viewed globally. It can only be viewed by your computer. We are going to see how you can make your HTML website global in a few videos. Alright, so now we have our heading set. Now we need to link our JavaScript and CSS file to this HTML website. So the same way how an engine is connected mechanically to a car, we need to connect this JavaScript file to the HTML file. We're going to write some code here, which is going to be script. We're going to make the script tag, and in that we're going to give the source attribute. This is going to be src followed by an equal to operator and double quotes, and in those double quotes we're going to write main.js. So now if you want to make sure if your JavaScript file is linked, you can press Ctrl and click on main.js and see if it leads to your file. If it does, that means your HTML file has been linked to your JavaScript file. Now we need to link our CSS file. So for that we're going to make the link. So for that we're going to make the link tag. We're going to give an href attribute, which is an href equal to operator and double quotes, and in those double quotes you're going to write style.css. Now again we can confirm if style.css has been linked by control and clicking and seeing if style.css is opening. If it's opening, that means your CSS file has been successfully linked to your HTML file. So that is it about linking your JavaScript and CSS file. Let us get to the actual content of the website. As you can see, our website is really boring right now because it's blank. So now we have to create some content. So for this activity, we are going to be following these steps. So we've already created an HTML and JavaScript file along with the CSS file. We have created the basic HTML skeleton. Now we had to add a button. So let's do that. So here in the body tag, which is where the content is, we're going to make a button tag, which is going to create a button. Now we have to give the text in the button, which I'm going to give as change color. You can give any you want. You can give any text in it you want. And we're going to give an attribute. And this attribute is the on-click. So what is this on-click attribute? Well, basically it just says that when the button is clicked, you should perform this. Most of the time we say that a function should be performed. So what is a function? A function is a set of instructions that is performed when it is called. So if I tell you to perform a set of instructions every day, you are performing a function. For example, every morning you wake up, you brush your teeth, you take bath, you change your clothes, then you go to work or school. This is your morning routine every morning when you wake up. So this is the function that you perform every morning. In the same way, we are going to be creating a function in JavaScript, and this function is going to have many code lines which are going to be executed when it is called. So first, let us create this function. So to create a function in JavaScript, we're going to write function, and then we're going to give the name of the function, and the name is going to be color. So we're going to give function color with two parentheses, two curly brackets, in which you're going to be writing your code. Now you might be wondering, what are these two parentheses for? In these parentheses, you're going to pass arguments, and I'm going to be explaining what these arguments are in the next video. Alright, so what are we going to do after the button has been clicked? So basically we're going to write the document dot body. So what this document is that it's referring to the HTML file. The body is referring to the web page. Dot style, which means you're changing its style. Dot background color. We're going to select that. And we're going to write blue for now. And we're going to give a semicolon. So what is this semicolon for? This semicolon denotes the end of the line, the end of the code line. Alright, so now we are done with our function. Now we need to tell the button that when it's clicked, it needs to call this particular function. So for that, you add the on-click attribute. Now this attribute says that when the button is clicked, it should call the function that is given in this double quotes. So we are going to write color function. So now basically our logic is that when this button is clicked, it's going to go to this particular function. So for that, our IDE is going to go to this particular main.js file. In that, it's going to find this color function and then it's going to execute this. So let us test out our website. So we can find the change color option here. We click on that and indeed our website has turned blue. Now we can change the background color to whichever color we want. Let's say if you want it red, we can test that. It's red. If we want to change it to green, we can change that. We can do anything we want. We can even make it white and then it becomes white. So this is a really simple hands-on activity. And with that, we are done with all these steps. So in the next video, we are going to learn all the elements that you can add in your website and how you can style your website with CSS. But because in this case, you can see that our web page still looks quite boring. So with CSS, you can make your website more attractive and colorful. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Like, share and subscribe.